If you want an authentic local place to eat the freshest seafood in Funchal, Madeira, look no further. I have the place just for you. Let's do it. Right guys, I cannot make a video of the freshest seafood restaurant in Funchal, or my favorite anyway, without showing you where the fish came from. So I've come to Mercado dos Lavradores, the central market in Funchal, the fish market right here. But there's a viewing platform where everyone stands at the top of the steps to look in. Looks like we're at the back of the queue. Right, got my place. Now you can see today there's not a huge amount of fish, but there is fish in here. Got some tourists looking around, locals buying. Yeah, I think it's important to say it might not be the best fish market you've ever seen in your life in terms of quantity and variety, but you have to remember Madeira is so far away from everything, it just doesn't have the options that other places do, like in Spain and in France. But what you can trust is that it's fresh and it's open every single day. And this place is where the fish that we're going to eat at the restaurant comes from. I know because I see him in here choosing it. All right, let's check out the fish. These, how stunning are they? Look at the stripes and the colors on them, but this is the local fish, espada. It's a deep sea fish. You can see that by the size of the eye. Look how large the eye is. Obviously, there's not much light down there, so they need a huge eye, but also these vicious, vicious teeth. You would not want to get bitten by that, would you? It doesn't look the most appetizing, but let me tell you, when it's cleaned up and cooked nicely, it's so, so good. You can also get tuna off the coast of Madeira, so sometimes you do see large tuna. This one isn't the biggest. You can see they've taken the belly off, but look at that meat. Fresh tuna, cannot beat it. Some of these fish are just so gorgeous. Just look at that, you can just tell their eyes are absolutely glistening. It doesn't smell. You just know this stuff is fresh. Oh, and actually look over here, he is cleaning up the espada. When they take the skin off, you see the white skin. Nothing goes to waste. The heads as well, they'll be selling. But you can just see the color of that white skin once they strip it off. Anyway, enough of the market. I love coming to these places just to have a look around. Every day if I'm walking past, I'll pop in and see what the catch is or see what fruit and veg are there. You should do the same, I recommend. But let's go grab some food at my favorite little snack bar here in Funchal. A few minutes walk from the Mercado dos Lavradores is this place, Snack Bar Bela 5. It's my favorite little snack bar in Funchal to eat, as I said. Really, it's my go-to place to eat in Funchal. Lovely people, awesome food, so I can't wait to show you this place again because it's closing a nice little circle. It was actually the place I filmed my first ever video on YouTube. Can you believe it? So I thought it was a nice place to come and show you some of the fresh seafood here in Funchal. There it is, right on the roadside. And this place, it really is an unassuming restaurant. I don't think you'd find it if you weren't looking for it. It's actually on the back of the old town. It's right next to the old town. And as I say, only a few minutes from the market. It's all local. It's all from the market. It's all on the board for you to see. You have the espada, the scabbard fish, the black one that we saw in the market. You have dorada, sea bream, tuna, anything you fancy really. If it's fresh and it's in the market, it's usually on the board here to eat. Inside is exactly what you want from a traditional snack bar. Nothing fancy, no frills, just good food, a good chef on the grill, and yeah, let's work out what we're gonna order and finally get eating. So on the menu on the inside, same again, fish and meat, but with the prices next to them. 12 euros for the dorada, 14 euros for the robalo espada, bodiao, which is wrasse. With that, for that price, you get the fish, of course, but it will be the whole fish grilled. And then you get the choice of potatoes, either as fries or boiled potatoes, and the choice of your side, so salad or boiled vegetables. So for me, I think for that price, for fresh fish from Madeira, cooked here on the grill, pretty good price. Right, ready to order. Un soppa tomato,
Ok.
un bolo di caco.
Vegetariano.
Sì, un bodiao con batatas fritas e legumes.
Obrigada.
Right, let's check out the kitchen. This is where the magic happens, but you'll be surprised at just how small it is for a place that gets so busy. Just one person on the grill plate. I said there was seafood rice on the menu, guys, and I also said that this place, everything is freshly cooked, and you can see that because we're just preparing for service out the back here. I am in the kitchen. You know I love to get into the kitchen if you've watched me before. He's making the seafood rice here. I tell you, nothing beats the smell of onion and garlic frying in olive oil. Even the soup is being made fresh. Tomatoes, onions, olive oil, and into the pan. Again, the smell's coming off that already. And also blended tomato puree too, into that pot. And now he's added the water. Now it's looking like a tomato soup. So this is a bolo de caco, famous traditional bread in Madeira. First goes on a little bit of butter, and then this is garlic. Okay. Garlic, see?
Salt.
Okay. So butter goes on, and then this paste of garlic, salt, and oil. That gets wrapped up, and then onto the hot griddle. This is the bodiao. What he's recommended that I eat in season in Madeira right now. Ah, okay.
Garopa.
Ah, okay.
Bodiao.
Okay. So he's actually been kind. He's giving me 2 different fish, a little baby grouper and a bodiao, so I can try the difference between the 2. He's just literally split them open, taking the guts out. Incredibly fresh, scaled, ready to be grilled. All right, time for the fish to hit the grill. A little bit of olive oil on the hot plate, and on it goes. Not just my order, he's cooking in bulk here. We've got sea bass on the grill, and then my order. Look at that, you can hear the sizzle. Okay, so here, am I going to remember this? But you've got the grouper and the bodiao, the wrasse. And then, as I say, sea bass here. The smell of fish grilling on that hot plate. You can see how much it's been used. He's kept it well. It's seasoned though. Look at that, and that's just going to add to the flavour of the fish. And it is just him working this grill. He knows exactly how to cook the fish, exactly when it's done. Look at that, crispy, golden, caramelized perfection on the outside of the fish. He's going to manage that. He knows exactly where the hottest parts are, how long each needs to cook. And let me tell you guys, it's hot back here. I don't know how he does it because, I mean, it's a cooler day today, but it's hot. Imagine in the normal summer heat, 30, 35 degrees, being back here, stood over the hot plate. Respect. And the fries go in, already par cooked, and then it will go in at a high temperature to finish. See, he's just touching it to see how it is. And the vegetables nearly done as well, freshly cooked. Food has arrived, and I'm absolutely starving. First food of the day. As I said, we've got bolo de caco and the soup. I know we're here for fish, but as a starter, I guess this is a starter for me, this soup is an absolute must at this place. It kind of is traditional in Madeira. You don't see it everywhere, but essentially it's a tomato soup, but like no tomato soup you've ever had before. Definitely not those tomato soups that you've had in tins, probably. This one is fresh and delicious, and then the smell coming off it makes me want to eat it, unlike those ones that come out of a tin. We saw him making it, but I'll just show you anyway. You have that fresh tomato soup. We've got onions in there, the tomato, fresh whole tomatoes in there too. I didn't see him crack it in, but a poached egg, he's cracked an egg into that. And well, let's see. As we break it open. Oh yes, runny yolk inside, just oozing into that tomato soup. And then he finished it off with fresh coriander. As I say, guys, it smells amazing. But check out this bolo de caco, traditional bread in Madeira. Look how vibrant and green that garlic butter and garlic oil is on that bolo de caco. Crispy and toasted on the outside from where it's been on that griddle. Let's taste that soup. I'm actually going to mix it a little bit because that yolk, as I said, has oozed into it, and the color has changed. Once that yolk gets in there, it gets creamier. The yolk is adding that creaminess to it rather than the thin tomato broth. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, it really is like no tomato soup you've tried. It's fresh, it's light, it's vibrant, it's packed with tomato flavor. And as I said, it just makes you want to eat it because there's so much flavor in there. I knew it was fresh. I knew that they make it fresh each day, but I didn't realize he was making it for me there and then. You cannot get fresher than that. And it really is one of the best tomato soups that I've had, and so simple. Olive oil, tomatoes, garlic, onion, and then an egg and coriander to finish. It is so good. The only thing that can make that better is taking a little bit of the bolo de caco and dipping it into it. That bolo de caco is so crunchy on the outside from the grill plate, but the inside, because the garlic is fresh, and it's like this on a lot of bolo de caco, but because the garlic is fresh and raw when it goes onto the bolo de caco, you get that intense garlicky flavor with that buttermeat. Perfect combination. You know what, guys? It's a great soup anyway with the tomato, and actually with the fresh tomato in there, you get bursts, a reminder of that the essence of this soup is tomato soup. It just bursts in your mouth with like juicy tomato goodness. But the egg for me is what's genius. Sure, egg goes with a lot of things, but in a soup, like I say, that creaminess from the yolk really adds to the richness of the soup. But then the white, just, I don't know, it just adds something so good to it. Absolute genius, love it. You have to order the tomato soup at Snack Bar Bela. It's not a choice, I'm telling you. The main course hits the table. Thank you very much. Guys, look at this. I told you the fish comes out whole, so it's good value anyway, but just look at the color on that skin, the golden color on that skin. It's cooked to absolute perfection. You can see on the inside as I pull it away, it's golden on the outside, but creamy white flesh on the inside, so moist. You know that's not going to be dry fish. On the side are these homemade fries. We saw them, well, we saw the sack of potatoes, we saw them peeling them, cooking them, par-cooking them, and then finishing them. Do not get better than that. Cannot beat homemade fries. Finished with oregano, and then on the side, of course, the boiled vegetables that I ordered. Freshly cooked as well. Nice and vibrant. You can still see the colors in there. Oh man, how good does that look? But you know, there's one thing missing from this, a little secret that I'm gonna go and ask for. It's my tip to you as well. Could I please have some of the special sauce? Could I have the special sauce? So you saw his face. He knows. Obrigado. Thank you. This stuff, let me tell you, this makes the meal. I'm actually going to put it on the side of the vegetable plate, just so it's out of the way of the fish, and I can choose when to use it. It's essentially their version of Mary Rose of mayonnaise ketchup. But oh my, it's good. Let's get stuck in. As I say, it looks cooked to absolute perfection. I've never actually had these fish before. Well, I've eaten grouper before actually, but normally in a stew. And I think the smaller one, if I remember, is the grouper. And the other one is the boreal, the wrasse. I've never eaten wrasse before, or rockfish, I guess you could also call it. I've already tried one of the chips, and I like my food salty, so a little bit more salt onto those chips. And I'm gonna start with the grouper, because I have had that one, so I can at least compare it to something I've had. It just flakes off that bone so nicely. The grouper is a fantastic fish. It's meaty. It's definitely got good texture in the mouth, but it is cooked so nicely. The skin has really crisped up on the outside. You can taste the char. Well, you can taste the caramelization, of course, but you can taste the flavor of that grill plate. As I say, he's taken care of it. He's seasoned it nicely, and it comes through into that fish. But the fish itself is juicy, it's sweet, it's rich. Sweet in terms of fish, right? Not sweet in terms of sugar. But these two fish, they feed on the bottom. They feed on little shellfish and crustaceans, and that sweetness from that comes into their flesh. It's so good. If you know anything about eating fish, you know, or cooking fish, maybe you've cooked it at home, you know how easy it is to overcook it and make it dry. And without being disrespectful, especially near the Old Town. You can get good food in the Old Town, I'm sure, but yeah, it's not going to be on the same level as this. And I always recommend to people, walk through the Old Town, walk to Snack Bar Bela, and come and try the fish here, because you cannot go wrong. I know this is a fish video, but I have to try these fries. I love them here so much. And they have to be dipped into that special sauce. Get that on them. Oh yeah, so good. And that sauce is tangy. There's a bit of a tang to it, coming from the ketchup, I guess. But it just goes so nicely with those fries. Right, it's time to try this boreal or wrasse. And I chose this, well, two reasons. One, I always take his recommendation, and you saw as soon as I came in, he said, you have to eat this. Got the box out to show me. But I just love that passion. He gets so passionate about the fish. And that's why I love this place, because he is going to tell you what's fresh. He is going to tell you what's best and in season. If the tuna is good that day, he will tell you the tuna is good that day. If the espada is good, he'll tell you that. Or, like this one, he recommended the boreal. And also, I always like trying new things, and I've never tried this fish before. So I'm super interested to see. Let's try it. Oh yeah, wow. The grouper was good, but the boreal was like another level. It's not as delicate as sea bass and sea bream, but let me tell you, that might even be better. Surprising, because it's not a fish I would think of having. hence why I've never had it before. But you don't think of that, a rockfish or a wrasse to be so flavorful. It's definitely different. It's meaty, like the grouper is meaty. It's got more texture to it. It's got more bite. But flavor-wise, wow, it's amazing. And again, that crispy golden outside is just cooked to perfection. It's moist, cooked on the bone, which makes all the difference because that does help keep it moist. But it also gives flavor into the fish. And yeah, like I say, he knows what he's doing. He's keeping it on the bone on purpose, and he's just coming over. And this is what I also love. He's coming over always, no matter how busy he is. He comes over and says, "How's it going? Is it good?" I love that. I love the passion. It's good. Obrigado. Muito bom. So good. Yeah, so good. Saying it's the best. That one is the best. And he, like I say, if he recommends something, take it. Obrigado. I am absolutely stuffed. It's so much food. It came to about 25 euros, and they didn't let me pay because I filmed in there before, and they appreciate that I'm making a video. But if you are looking for the best seafood, the best fish in Funchal with an authentic local experience, with the most friendly owners, you will not go far wrong with Snack Bar Bela. I will catch you guys in the next video.